I want to load the data. Not really sure, but Ch.2, you're not thinking of anything completely ludicrous right now, are you? Not really. Not at all. Oh, by the way, hey there everyone, TheHanyou here. Welcome back to Higurashi When They Cry, Chapter 2, Watanagashi. It's a mouthful. So, Draka, who are you? I mean, obviously you're from... I know where you're from, but I don't know who you are. Ah, Mithra. Okay. That's a lie. You get the kind of look on your face that says, I'm gonna be crushed by a giant spiked metal ball. That's oddly specific. How could my expression convey what I was thinking like that? Sorry. Imagining a meek and gentle Satoko is impossible right now. I'll try again when I'm in better shape. Next, I looked over at Rika-chan, who was working diligently on some kanji drills. In contrast to Satoko, her default state was meek and gentle. If Rika-chan came to me saying "Oni-sama," I'd hug her tightly. I could get used to that. Ch.2, you're drooling. Sorry. Then how about Rika-chan? Are you saying that her appearance is deceiving as well? Saying that out loud, I felt a tinge of doubt. Was Rika-chan all sweet? Really all sweet? Despite her appearances, she really was quite sly. Sweetly, how do you put it, evading things deftly? I get the feeling that Rika-chan isn't only just sweet. Her appearance is definitely deceiving. I couldn't put exactly what I was imagining into words, but Reina managed to say what I wanted to. Hello, welcome. How are you guys? She turned to me with an impish look in her eyes, like she was saying, you shouldn't say something like that. Music is too loud? Hold on one second. Hello? Hello? Can you hear me better now? But yeah, I should probably lower it into settings. Better? Okay. When Rika-chan grows up, I'm sure she'll become an incredibly devilish beauty with men wrapped all around her little finger.
そういうのかっこよくない？
Don't you think that would be cool? Reina said that lightheartedly, but I, as a man, couldn't laugh at that. The scary part about that was that it felt like it could be true. Noticing my gaze, Rika-chan turned towards me and let loose with an angelic smile. Both Reina and I, feeling as if that was directed towards us personally, had our hearts skip a beat. So cute! So cute! Reina, your nose is bleeding. Reina's a pervert. She's a cuteness pervert. Your nose doesn't bleed if you're thinking innocent thoughts. Let's just say that. Well then, what about our dear leader Mion? I stared at her as she tried to weasel her way out of her scolding by the teacher. By Reina's theory that unrefined, calculating, conniving Mion also had a side of her that belied her appearances. I did not. I will check that out next time my sprite comes up. Now what you're saying is that Mion, despite her appearances, is actually a good person. Mi-chan is a good person. Oh. Oh wow, that's very different. That is very different. Huh. I'm not sure which one I prefer, actually. I'm used to this one. But this one also looks fairly decent. The eyes are also different. I don't know, I'm gonna keep it like this for now. I'm gonna see how it looks in various different... I'm gonna see how they look in different, like, poses and stuff like that to determine which I really prefer. I don't know, I think the Steam one has a bit better detail, in my opinion. Like, She seems smaller with this sprite. I don't know. Okay, I'll stick with this for a little bit, and we'll see how it goes. Oh well, that is true. What I'm trying to say is... Yeah, you're right. Yep, I know what you're saying. What you're trying to say, Keiichi-kun. Catching on that I was struggling to express my feelings as words, Reina smiled even more brightly. Know what? Mi-chan is mysterious, right? No, it's not just the hair. It's if you actually look at her there's actually a difference. Like, the legs, she's got thicker legs, and also her head in general is wider, I think. Hold on. Yeah, her head is slightly her face is slightly wider in the other sprites as well. She's a girl, but it's like she's a guy. That's right. Mion was more than aware that she was a girl, but it was exactly as Reina said. I've gotten so used to calling her Rena, and now that there's voice acting in this, it's tossing up what I've been calling her for a very long time now. When Mion livened up the mood, it wasn't as though she felt like a guy or girl specifically, but a friend of the same gender. Yeah, well, I know that now, but I was calling her Rena for like the entire first chapter. If you go back and watch the first chapter on my YouTube, I'm even asking, like, how do you pronounce her name? Is it Rena or Reina? And then I settled on Rena because I never really got an answer. Or no, it was Rena or Rena. But they're pronouncing it more like Reina. When Mion livened up the mood, it was, yeah, okay. If she were a guy, we'd probably be like two peas in a pod. Although that's the same way it is right now, haha. But you see, even that Mi-chan is actually really feminine. Okay, now they are pronouncing it Rena. Maybe it depends on who's talking to her then. How much did Mion pay you exactly? That's not true. Jeez, I'm trying to have a serious conversation, you know? You know, I actually picked up a trait from Rena. I sometimes catching myself when I'm talking to myself out loud. I'm like, I sometimes find myself saying, I wonder. Rena began to pout. Now probably wasn't the right time to joke around. Mi-chan is the club president, so she's trying hard to lead everybody. She's really a very cute girl. I really don't want you to forget that, Keiichi-kun. Rena's gaze focused off into the distance beyond where Mion was. The Mion that I met at Angel Mort was unimaginably different compared to the Mion that I really knew. Flustered and hesitant from the unfamiliar job. It was a far cry from the brash and confident Mion. Even though she had to hurry to work, she went through all the trouble to bring me food when I was on the brink of starvation. Even though she had to... and she did not... did so not as Mion, but as Shion. What exactly was Shion to Mion? What kind of person was Mion exactly? Keiichi-kun probably couldn't even begin to imagine. As if to say it was our little secret, Rina held her finger up to her lips as she giggled. Mion, finally free from the teacher's preaching, returned to her seat, cradling her head to hide her embarrassment. Oh jeez, that's a big change. That is a really big change. Hold on a second. Yeah, these sprites definitely have bigger heads. Among other big things. Yeah, it's... She also seems thinner, too. See, that does not surprise me in the slightest. I mean, this was published by Manga Gamer, right? So the fact that the sprites were made by an Eroge artist does not surprise me. This old man, you see, thinks that grade school is enough for everything you need to study for in life. Saying that, she plopped down into her seat violently. Mion was actually really feminine. Right. Wonder if I can meet Shion again. I wanted to talk to her again. The principal waved around the bell that served as the school chime. The teacher rushed back to the blackboard and began to list everybody's homework assignments. Whoa. Looks like there's gonna be a lot of homework today. Gotta buckle down. Well then. That means even Rina? Rena? Huh? What do you mean? Appearances can be deceiving. Would that apply to you too? Huh? Oh boy. Why do I get the feeling he shouldn't have said that? How do you see me? How? The Rena Ryugu that I knew sometimes took things too far, but was generally a kind and gentle ideal girl. Really? Then that makes me happy, I guess. If she was the opposite of what she seemed, that would make her... And if I were really the opposite? Just try saying it, I won't be mad. That's what I felt she meant. Rena is... Rena is. Even if you were the opposite, you'd still be Rena, right? This question shouldn't have been so nerve-wracking to answer. Maybe it was because the person in question was staring at me, but even saying that took a strange amount of effort. That's no fair, Keiichi-kun. It bothers me when you say it that way. Oh. Perhaps unable to endure my silence, Rena's face began to burn red with embarrassment. Let's go home. Mion walked over and started getting ready to go home. Whenever school is over, she really does get noticeably more energetic. It was the same relaxing walk home as always. Digging around in my pocket on a whim, I noticed something that should have been there was missing. What's the matter, Kei-chan? The key to my house I always carry around is gone. Man, where did I lose it? It's fine today since my parents are home, but still, this is bad. That sure is troublesome. Did you forget it somewhere? Or did somebody steal it? Or did you drop it? Which one was it? Did I take it with me this morning in the first place? Huh? Did that key have anything that would make it stand out? Yeah, it's on a keychain. It was a blue fur seal, something I made for summer homework a long time ago. Huh? Does it have its eyes shut like it's taking a nap? Oh, how did you know? Yeah, that's it. Mion looked away and began to whistle. Let's see. You went to dinner at Angel Mort a couple days ago, right? That night the staff found a key. And there was a fur seal keychain attached to it. As she said that, she suddenly grew flustered and added that Shion had told her about it. Huh? So I dropped it then. Aren't you glad they found it? I'm sure they're looking after it for you. That's right. Why don't you go? Shion looks the same as me, so you'll know her by sight. And suddenly, police. This was a rather unexpected development. Once again, I had no choice but to go and meet with Shion. But I also had to thank her for the bento from yesterday. Besides, taking some time and chatting with this other side of Mion might be interesting. Half jokingly, I began to think about things like this. Right. Angel Mort, was it? I'll head over to Shion's restaurant and get my key back. While I'm at it, having a nice spot of tea might not be a bad idea. You sound like an English gentleman. That totally doesn't suit you, Kei-chan. Is this the restaurant? The one that Mi-chan's little sister is working at? Yeah, why don't we go together, Rana? Sorry to disappoint you, but I have plans with my father today. Some other time. Rena seemed pretty disappointed about having to miss such a great opportunity. You said they're twins, but do they really look that much alike? Enough to mistake which is which. Yeah, they're totally the same. At least on the outside. Unlike Mion, she's well-mannered and really cute, though. In response to my teasing, Mion pouted and began to argue with me. I couldn't help but burst out laughing at Mion's little farce. After all, they weren't just identical, they were the same person. After going home, I changed my clothes and dug my bike out of the garage. Just thinking that I would be able to meet Shion again gave me a mysterious feeling. Shion, a name for a different kind of Mion. She was mysterious. She was a mysterious and ridiculous person, believing she had fooled everyone like that. I noticed that I was pedaling along quite happily. Could it be that I was looking forward to meeting Shion? I felt a sense of giddy anticipation, like I was headed towards a new friend's house for the first time. What Rena I'm gonna keep calling her Rena on accident. What Rena said about Mion actually being really feminine sprang to mind once again. The guilt from spying on another side of Mion, the self-consciousness from being the only one that knew about that side, these feelings mixed together. That was Shion for you. Mion's little twin sister. Until she felt like coming out and admitting she was Mion, it was fine to just call her Shion, right? Mion might be trying to have some fun by acting out a different persona. Last time I wasn't embarrassed since I was here with Dad, but this time I was alone. I was strangely self-conscious about it. Meet Shion, get my key back. And that was all this task was supposed to be. If I dawdled around like this, maybe Shion would find me before she headed in for work. Hey, what are you doing, Keiichi Mibara? You're just here to get your key back, you know? It's not like you're some love-struck schoolboy here to hand over a love letter. The thoughts inside my head were slowly turning into a jumbled mess. I came to the realization that I was downright giddy. That's why, for just a bit, just a tiny little bit, I got a little carried away and did something really stupid. I kicked over a... Okay, Keiichi. There's a difference between doing something really stupid and doing something downright retarded. I kicked over a parked motorcycle that was blocking the sidewalk. It was in the way, sure, but there was absolutely no need for me to kick it. I definitely think I got too carried away. Thunk, clack. Crash. And the three bikes toppled over, one after another like dominoes. The loud noise they caused snapped me back to my senses. Oh, shit. The hell you think you're doing? The owners of the three bikes were right there. They looked exactly like what you'd call thugs up to no good. They lifted their heads up in an imposing manner and yelled angrily in a way I had never heard before. The three of them beelined towards me, the worn-down heels of their thin-soled shoes slapping noisily against the pavement. I could only stare listlessly as if I were watching some far-off event that didn't concern me at all. By the time I realized it, I had been grabbed by the collar and lifted up onto my tiptoes. Don't be playing dumb. You knocked him over, didn't ya? Ah! The three thugs were completely ignoring the rules of grammar, but the way they spoke was enough to make me tremble. Just like that, my composure drained away, my legs buckled, and my throat... I turned Scottish there for a second. My throat grew dry enough to crack. I'm sorry, I accident my ass. You kicked it, didn't you, dumbass? I was completely at fault, so there was no way I could... There was nothing I could say in my defense. As a result, I was pulled even higher. The hell, man? The paint's all scuffed. Yo, brat. Who put you up to this, eh? This is your goddamn fault. The three of them continued to yell at me. I had no idea what each of them were saying. Getting further enraged that I was only listening while dumbstruck, they grabbed an empty plastic crate from a nearby store and began to smash it repeatedly against the telephone pole. Why? Cracks formed into the crate, plastic shards flying everywhere. Then they slammed it full force into the shuttered storefront. Smash. Shutter let out a frighteningly loud noise. Still not satisfied, they flipped over a case of empty cans, scattering its contents. They trying to be intimidating or something? Like, oh, I'm gonna smash this plastic crate. Oh, I'm going to flip over this case of empty cans. That'll teach them. Yeah. Rah. What the fuck, man? Seriously? This was not normal. It was something you saw often on television or manga, but I never thought seeing it in person would be this terrifying. Okay, I get it. He's still a kid, so maybe it would work. That type of intimidation would work on him. But seriously, Keiichi, like, whatever. I became painfully aware that the safety of civilized society was only held up by such a frail concept as morals. My knees clattered together noisily. Static began to pepper my vision. This is what you would call absolute terror. He's 14 as far as I know. I mean, still. I don't know. This is what you would call absolute terror. There was nothing I could do to stop this frightening spectacle of violence. I mean, okay, yeah, sure. Beating the milk crate against the telephone pole or whatever would be violent-ish. But knocking over a box of empty cans, I wouldn't really consider that to be violent. I could only pray for help. The fear I felt was just too much. Would somebody help me? My gaze floundered about the surrounding area. I was surrounded by these three hoodlums. No way would there be a passerby brave enough to intervene. Maybe this is what you call reaping what you sow. If I were a passerby, there would be no doubt that I'd ignore what was going on, so this was somewhat of a cosmic retribution. Fucking say something! I'll fucking stab you. When did this guy turn Scottish? Or Irish? Angry yelling, loud enough to rattle my eardrums, spewed forth right in front of my face. My waning consciousness was forcibly dragged back to the forefront. The thug had cocked back his free hand and twisted his body when suddenly a metallic taste filtered through the back of my throat. A chill ran down my spine like a jolt of electricity. Seeing what was going to happen next, I squeezed my eyes shut as tight as possible and grit my teeth. You're making quite the racket, you stupid pieces of trash. Get out of my sight. That voice was a short distance away. Still holding me by the collar, the three thugs spun around to look behind them. The fuck you say? Standing there was Mion. She stood there displaying an imposing stature that I've never seen before. She didn't have the same look on her face as she did when we were playing around during club. Those were the eyes that would instill fear in anyone who looked upon them, the eyes of a raptor. They were the epitome of terror. At the same time, they were the most reassuring things in the world. Who's Sion? Xion and Mion are the same person. Who's Sion? I'll only say this one more time. Let go of Kei-chan and get lost. Mion, with an ounce of fear, laid down her ultimatum. Of course, there was no way those three wouldn't go absolutely berserk. Situation instantly turned explosively dangerous. You fucking bitch! I'll fucking bash your head in. Stop it, Mion. These guys are like rabid dogs. No amount of bluffing will work. It's dangerous. So, I knew what I was saying was pathetic, but I couldn't let Mion get involved in this. Also, this is the first time we're seeing what Keiichi looks like. I couldn't let Mion get involved in this. No matter how you looked at it, Mion was only bluffing. But did Mion even know the meaning of the word bluff? However, the reason behind everything soon became apparent. They were slowly increasing in number, little by little. At first, it was only businessmen on their way home, stopping to take a look. Then it was housewives in the middle of shopping, taking a gander. Okay, well, hold on. We can check if there was a typo. There was not a typo. Next, what seemed like the owner of some store showed up, and it was pretty clear he wasn't just looking. Around Mion, there were already about 7 people gathered. It felt different than people coming out to support a friend. If I had to say why, it was because the group that gathered was diverse in age and gender. The 3 thugs seemed to slowly realize that there was something strange about the situation. Who the hell are these guys? Behind them, there's the something strange is going on sound. Behind them, at some point, 4 more people of different clothes and ages had gathered. A girl who looked to be in middle school, a man wearing a bakery apron, an old lady in a house cleaning smock. More and more people of various ages. Their gazes, comparable to Mion's, were of hostility, of intimidation. Before I realized it, over 10 people had formed a ring around us. At that moment, 5 elementary schoolers ran in and joined the circle. There were some familiar faces. Some of our classmates. Then these people were residents of Hinamizawa. More and more people from Hinamizawa gathered around. In obvious contrast, the residents of Ikinamiya were passing by as quickly as possible. The fuck are you guys? Go the fuck away. The group surrounding us had suddenly swelled to around 20 people. Completely encircled, the faces of the thugs began to show the first signs of panic. Nobody spoke a word, Mion included. That made everything completely unnatural, and depending on which side you were on, completely terrifying. Only the thugs' voices echoed out like they were screaming. Somebody took a step forward, closing the gap between them. As they did, everybody else took a step forward, shrinking the circle. The hoodlums went pale as they were pushed together back to back while still yelling angrily. They were trying to string together vulgarities, but for some reason it sounded like they were crying out for help. Alright, what's going on here? What's going on? It was sudden. A solidly built officer cut his way through the crowd. At some point, 2 police cars had arrived. Some passerby had undoubtedly called for them. Several burly officers appeared from inside the second vehicle. Oh, officer, good timing. There you go, the extortionists caught red-handed. Please arrest them. The fuck? This brat's the one that's wrong here. Mion, returning to her usual self, was nonchalantly pointing out the hoodlums to the police. Of course, the thugs were furious. But now that it had come to this, there was nothing they could do. It was their loss. Okay. Come over here for a sec. Come on already. The officers handcuffed the thugs, dragging them towards the patrol cars. The fuck? Let me go! We're the victims here. Are you listening, damn it? No matter how much of a ruckus they caused, the officers paid no heed. In a blink of an eye, they were crammed inside the 2 vehicles. They could still be heard yelling while inside the police cars, but what they were saying was no longer intelligible. Well, look who it is. It's Oishi. Are you alright? Are you injured? He was probably a detective. The man leading the police peered at my face. No, not really. Well, that's a bit of a silver lining then. Oh wait, did I misread what he said? Are you alright? Are you injured? Okay. I didn't misread what he said. Well then, have a good year. The portly man, after taking a quick look around, addressed the crowd. Thank you, citizens, for your timely report. Thanks to your efforts, we were able to keep the peace today. It's a wonderful thing. He does not sound anything like I thought he would. And honestly, I prefer this sprite for him. I prefer the like older, fatter version of him. Hmm.
お仕事ご苦労様です。大石刑事殿。
Oishi. Thank you for your hard work, Detective Oishi.
住民を代表して
As a citizen, I thank you for your daily efforts.
一課の刑事がわざわ
It's
ざ
an
こん
honor
なと
for
こ
a
ろまでおいで
detective
くださ
from
る
the
とは
first division to come
光栄
out
の
all
極
this
み
way.
です。
The way Shion talked didn't have a very pleasant tone.
偶然ですよ。
It was a coincidence.
県警の帰り道
I
に
happened to hear the
無線連絡
call
が
over the radio on my way back from the prefectural office.
寄り道したわけです。
I just made a little detour.
お仕事頑張ってください。
Please keep up the good work.
今後のご活
I
躍を
pray for
切
success
に
in
祈
your
っており
future
ます。
endeavors. They're talking like they're old rivals or something like that. It's weird.
いえい
Ah, shucks.
え。でも怪我人が出な
It's
く
a
て
good thing there were
本当
no
に良かったです
injuries, though.
大石さ
Oishi-san,
ん OK っす
we're done here.
行きましょう
Let's go.
ではでは。
Well then, have a good year.
失礼。
I'm sorry,
道を
could
開
you
けて
make
もらえま
way?
すかな。
The detective named Oishi, after jovially making pleasantries, lumbered over to the waiting police car. It quickly set off, disappearing down the city street. It was over so quickly. So quickly, I was dumbstruck. I didn't even get to ask the officer what was going on. It was like they came here quickly to disperse the mob before any trouble could start. After making making sure the police cars had left, Mion snapped her fingers sharply.
おっしゃ一丁上がりだね。
Alright, that's a wrap.
おととい来やがれってん
And
の。
don't come back. That was the signal. The tension melted away in an instant as everybody began smiling. A middle-aged man helped me up.
大丈夫かい前原の坊や
Are you okay, young Maibara?
今度からは喧嘩は相手を選んでやるな
Maibara. Next time, pick your fights a bit better. It's not like I wanted to fight.
怪我とかしてない？
Are you hurt anywhere?
頭とかぶつけてるなら。
If you hit your head, it would be a great idea to get an x-ray taken. That's taking it a bit far. The old lady I didn't know the name of was concerned about my
た
injury.
またま駅前で。
You were lucky this happened right in front of the station when it was busy, otherwise we wouldn't have been able to gather as many people.
次からは気をつけるんだよ。
Next time, be more careful.
最近の町もんが物騒なんだから。
You haven't seen anything yet. Seriously. Trust me, I'm expecting it to get just as bad, if not worse, than in the first chapter. So. You were lucky this happened right in front of this. Yeah, okay. City kids these days are pretty unruly.
まったく。
Honestly. I was even warned by the old lady in the smock. As Shion finished applauding the dispersing group for their efforts, she strode over to me. Actually, what? Huh. Which came first? Was it the light novels, mangas, or was it the games that came first? Because I know sometimes visual novels can come before. Okay, yeah. Because I know sometimes the games can come first before the other material, but despite the fact usually it's the other way around. Okay. You know, the anime's been on my to-watch list forever, but then I discovered that the games were on here, and I got the suggestion to play them from Sleg, and so I decided to actually not watch the anime. And so as to not spoil myself. No, I also hear that the anime doesn't really doesn't follow everything as so it would have spoiled me, but it also would have probably left out quite a bit. As Shion finished applauding the dispersing group for the efforts, she strode over to me. Well, you're pretty good, Kei-chan. I also think you should be more careful about who you pick a fight with. Thanks, Mion. You saved my bacon there. Like I said, I'm Shion. She made a troubled expression as she turned her gaze downward, blushing in embarrassment. I heard from my sister that first sealed keychain was yours, Kei-chan. Oh, yeah, that's right. I was just heading to the restaurant. And you ended up feeling so excited you got mixed up in something weird. Now it's my turn for my face to go red. I didn't want to admit that she was spot on. Well, I was just unlucky. But you really saved me, Shion. You don't have to thank me. So if you see somebody else getting bullied, help them out, okay? We value that kind of thing very highly here. I was well versed in that sense of camaraderie. But the way I was rescued just now, something seemed a little off about that. While I was helped out, it was honestly to an almost disturbing degree. You're coming into the restaurant, right? You must be tired, so why don't you relax for a bit? My treat. Seems that she caught the glimmer of suspicion in my eyes. Without waiting for my answer, Shion began walking. After cooling off a bit inside the restaurant, little by little I realized I was still on edge. You know, as much anime as I watch, I honestly don't read as much manga as I should. It just, I mean, it's easier for me to watch through an anime than it is for me to go reading through a manga. it takes up a bit more of my time and stuff like that. There are a few that I like start to go through, like if there's something where it's like, you know, here's an example of where I basically had to pick up the manga because the anime completely fucked it up. Was damn it, what is it? Hold on, I have to pull this up real fast. Where is it? Where is it? There it is. Okay. What the hell? Whatever. Hold on. It's... Damn it. Hold on. Soro no Oroshimono. What's the English name? Heaven's Lost Property. So, they ended the manga, and then they made like an hour-long video, an hour-long special for the end of the series. It was terrible. It cut off like halfway through where the manga of where the ending manga left off, and was terrible, absolutely terrible. It just was so bad. I had to be like, no fucking way it ended like that. It was really good. So I refused to believe that it ended that way. So I looked up the manga and I found it. And I read through that, and I got the real ending. And the real ending is a lot better. Because, yeah, I was very disappointed with how that hour-long special that was supposed to end the series turned out, because it was a gotcha. It was basically an hour-long trailer for the manga, basically. It's a really it was a yes, it's a bit ecchi, but also it's a really good anime. I really enjoyed the anime, so when I hate it when they fuck up endings like that. It's a real pet peeve of mine, is when is when they do shit like that. And not just that anime, any anime that really fucks up the ending. I did. I'm not Heaven's Lost Property. It's an ecchi anime. It's an ecchi harem anime. It's really good though. It's very sweet, actually. It's nice to see the character evolve over the course of the show. The main character evolve over the course of the show too. Anyway, I got off on a tangent. Anyway, back to this. After cooling off a bit inside the restaurant, little by little I realized I was still on edge. There were spots here and there on my body that hurt, probably because I had been so stiff with nervousness. Shion, who had changed into her uniform, brought over 2 glasses of iced coffee.
はいこれおごりのアイスコーヒー
It's not really a mecha anime. I mean, technically it's not a mecha anime. The main female character is kind of an artificial being. So there is that. But it's not a mecha anime. Here you go, iced coffee on the
レ
house.
ジでこのチケット渡せば
Just bring this
無料になり
coupon
ます
with you
から
to
ね
the register, and it'll be no charge. My patheticness really knew no bounds. But since she went through the trouble, I might as well take her up on the offer. Even though it had started out as such a lovely day, I had to get carried away and do that stupid thing. I had completely ruined it.
でも本当にさ、
But really,
さっきのは
you really
助かったよ。
saved my hide there.
シオンが本当に頼もしく見えた。
Oh, you're not wrong. Ergo proxy. That sounds familiar. Oh, that's another one that's on my watch list, actually. I know what you're talking about now. I like the music in this game. Simple but effective. Really come to see you as reliable.
私だって怖かったですよ
Supposed to be a ripoff of Ghost in the Shell. It has a horror tag. Pretty sure that's not supposed to be a ripoff of Ghost in the Shell. Did I see the first Arise? No, I haven't seen any of the Arise series yet for Ghost in the Shell. I really should watch it. Is it good? That's what I want to know. Is it good? Even I was scared, but K-Chen was in trouble, so
勇気出して頑張りましたってことです。
I had to be brave and do my best. While I was embarrassed by what she just said, Shion made a show of folding her arms boldly.
シオン、本当にありがとう。
Really, thank you. It's three precursor movies to Standalone Complex. But aren't there like 10 Arise now? You sure it's their precursor movies? Because I swear I've seen a bunch of the Arise series now. It's like its own series now. Yeah, there's a lot more than 3 now. Yeah, there's movies, there's a TV series. There's a 10 episode Ghost in the Shell Arise series. There's Arise, Border 1 Ghost Paint, Border 2 Ghost Whispers, Border 3 Ghost Tears, and Border 4 Ghost Stands Alone, which are all four of those are movies. There's the specials, then there's another one, which is Ghost in the Shell Arise Another Mission. So there's 4 movies and a 10 episode series for Arise. I was thanking Shion, but I really wanted to thank Mion. Mion, really, thank you.
ほらほら、もう元気出してください。
Now, cheer up a little.
もしも恩義を感じ
If
る
you
なら
feel indebted,
今度は
then you
ケイちゃん
have
が
the
他の誰かのため
chance.
に戦ってくださいね。
And then when you have the chance, you should help somebody in need.
例えば、私が
Like
ピン
for
チになった
example,
ら
if I'm ever in trouble,
きっと助けに来てくださいよ。
please come and save me.
あ、もちろんだ。
Yeah, of course.
約束する。
It's a promise. I don't really watch anime on Netflix anymore. I watch it either on Crunchyroll or on Funimation, and I usually watch it dubbed. I mean subbed, not dubbed. I rarely ever watch anything dubbed anymore. Unless it's just something where I've gotten so used to the dubbed version, like Dragon Ball or Full Metal Alchemist, or I tried watching the subbed version of Brotherhood. I just couldn't do it. I was so used to the I was so used to the dubbed version of it after watching the first Full Metal Alchemist. I had to watch the dubbed version of Brotherhood. I mean, you can watch stuff on Crunchyroll for free. You just can't watch the latest episode for free. if it's an ongoing series. But you can watch pretty much everything on Crunchyroll for free. It just has commercials. So. Really, the only benefit to a Crunchyroll account is just being able to watch everything ad-free. Ah, yeah, of course. It's a promise.
絶対ですからね。
You absolutely have to. Taking advantage of my words, she seemed happy about my promise.
ピンチになったら
So if I'm ever in trouble, K-chan will come and save me.
早くピンチにならないかな。
I hope trouble comes soon. Ah,
ya
you
todo
finally
era
smiled. Yeah, that does complicate things then. Because I think you can only watch it on devices other than your computer if you do have a premium account. Never mind then. Well, in that case, there's always YouTube. And Voodoo. And Daily Motion. And also other sites which I can list off. Oh, there's also that too, yeah. So if I'm ever in trouble, yeah, trouble comes soon. Ah, you finally smiled. She smiled as she smiled herself. She said as she smiled herself, poking me in the cheek.
元気のないケイちゃんなんて。
Downtrodden K-chan is as good as an imposter.
ほら、笑って
Come
笑
on, smile, smile. That tickles. Stop. Thanks to Shion's meddling, I finally cheered up a little. All the muscles in my body that had stiffened because of the incident finally began to relax a little.
元気出たらお腹とか空いてこ
When
な
you're
い
in a
です
better mood, don't you get a little hungry?
私お腹空いちゃい
I'm
ました
kind
か
of
ら
hungry, so I want to
食べたい
eat
んです
some
けど
pancakes or
ケイ
something.
ちゃんも食べます
Do you want some too, K-chan? I wanted to show a little restraint, but restraint wasn't my thing. That's why I replied without any.
うまいんだろうな。
They're good, right? I'm pretty
ホットケーキ
picky
は
when it
かな
comes
り
to
うまいぜ
pancakes.
安心してください
Don't worry.
うちのホットケーキ
Our
はかなり
pancakes
評
have
判
a
いい
pretty
です
good
から
reputation. Shion ordered some pancakes from a nearby waitress. An employee ordering from another employee seems kind of weird.
おいおい。そういえば
Speaking of that,
今
wasn't
バイト中
Shion
じゃ
in
ない
the
の
middle
か
of a shift?
俺とずっと話をして油を売ってていいの
She's
か
been
よ。
slacking off while talking to me.
おじさんにね私が不良に絡まれてるところを
I
ケイちゃ
told
ん
my
が助
uncle
け
you
てくれたっ
saved
て
me
言ったらねぎらって
when I
話
was
して
surrounded by hoodlums, so he's rewarding you.
だから店長公認で
So I have the manager's permission. Okay, that's just funny.
それ事実
That's exactly the opposite of what happened. Is that alright?
全然いいのです
It's perfectly fine. By the time the pancakes arrived, we had entered into a relaxed conversation. As the two of us ate pancakes, we livened the mood with some chit-chat. About what was on TV, celebrities, that kind of thing. Hobbies, food, really nothing more than idle chit-chat. I'm going to guess he meant Keiichi's. Tying together like this, I once again became conscious of Shion being a girl. Hey now, that's funny talk, Keiichi Mebara. Shion and Mion are the same person. If there was anything different between them, it was only whether or not Mion admitted she was Mion. But given that, how come our conversation was this different?
ケイちゃんってお姉のことを女
You
だと
don't
思っ
think
て
of
な
my
いでしょ
sister as a girl, do you?
そんなことはないよ。
That's not
男
true.
だったら容赦
If
なく
she were a
突き倒して
guy, I'd punch the living daylights out of her.
ケイちゃんとお姉が仲が
I
いい
think the
の
reason
って
you guys get along so well is because you have that kind of
Non-sexual
platonic
な関係になると思うんです。
relationship.
それってなかなかできない
That's a pretty
羨ましい関
that's
係
a
で
pretty
すよ
rare and enviable thing to have, don't you
言
think?
ってる意味がよくわかんない
I don't get what you're
まあ
saying.
確かに
But it really
女
does
に
but it really would be a
もったいないや
waste
つ
to
だな
treat her like a girl.
あ、ケイちゃん、それ男女
That's
差別ですよ
Hearing the word sexist was cause for introspection. What was I prejudiced against Mion and Shion for? Mion was Mion. She was the best friend a guy could have, no reservations, and head and shoulders above me when it came to club activities. If I met her 5 years earlier, my life would have probably been a lot more fun. Of this, I have no doubt. And then what about Shion? She was Mion's little sister, and it hadn't even been 3 days since we met. Her relationship was more distant, as the only thread we had in common was that I knew her sister. And for Shion, it was the same. I was somebody she met 3 days ago only because I was a friend of her sister's. The difference between Mion and Shion? Friendliness? Familiarity? Playing around with those unclear thoughts for a while, I had stopped listening to Shion.
例えばですよ
Hypothetically, okay? Are you
さあ
listening?
ごめん
Ah, sorry.
keep
Yeah,
it.
I'm listening.
例えばですよ
This is just a hypothetical question, okay?
私とお姉が共
Both
に
me and my
手を
sister are in trouble, okay?
崖にぶら下がってると
We're
します
dangling off the side of a
ケイ
cliff.
ちゃんはどっちを助けま
Which
す
one of us do you save?
どっちか一人だけですよ
You can only save one. I hate these hypothetical questions. She wasn't saying it to tease me, but had a playful tone behind her voice.
嫌な問題だな
That's not a nice question, I completely agree.
どっちも助けたいけど
I want to save you both, but I can't do that, right?
ダメです
Right.
シオンかミオン
You
の
can
どっ
only
ちかだ
save
け
either
です
Shion or
ど
Mion.
っちですか
Who do you save? If it were Mion, I don't think she'd be in that situation in the first place, as it's something she could easily get out of herself. But what about the normal, frail Shion? I guess I'd have no choice.
お姉じゃないですよね
It's not my sister, right? If Mion and Shion were different people, I suppose it would come to that. I couldn't confirm nor deny it. She should have been smiling, but her gaze was locked firmly on mine.
つまり
In other
そういうことなんで
words,
すよ
that's it, isn't it?
お姉はそのつまり
My sister is... Huh.
すみません
Sorry, I messed up what I was trying to say. Shion was trying to talk in a lighthearted manner, but I felt that there was something more behind her words. Was Mion trying to tell me something through Shion? Not being able to put a finger on exactly what it was vexing. Shion, to hide her embarrassment, turned the conversation around.
さっき
More
のあれ
importantly, just
驚き
now,
ましたか
were you surprised?
いや驚いた
Of
よ
course I was.
レナやサトコが駆けつけてくれる
For
なんて
Rena or Satoko, that would have been one
あんな
thing.
に老若男女が
But for
いろいろと
all
集まってくれるんだ
those people, young and old
あれ
together,
全部ひなみ沢の人だ
they were all from
ええ
Hinamizawa,
そう
right?
です
Yeah,
ひ
that's
なみ
right.
沢の人は
Everybody in
みんな結束
Hinamizawa
し
is
てるん
pretty
ですよ
close knit.
一人の敵は全員の敵
An enemy of one isn't the enemy of all.
日和見なんか誰もしません
Big subtext right there. Big subtext right there. Gonna put a big flashing arrow pointing at that. Big old neon arrow. Nobody is going to look on from the sidelines.
結構頼もしい住
They're
人
a pretty reliable group of residents.
誰かがいじめられたら
If somebody is being
みんなで
picked
結束して
on,
やっつ
then
けるわけ
everybody unites to get rid of the bully. Again, big flashing arrow right there.
なんだかマフィアとかヤクザみたいな
It kind of sounds like the Mafia or the Yakuza's brand of unity.
そんなこと言っちゃダメ
You
ですよ
shouldn't say something
と
like
てもあり
that.
がたい
It's
ことなんです
something you should be thankful
ケイちゃん
for.
もそれに助け
You
ら
were
れたんです
saved by that unity, weren't you?
感謝の気持ちを忘れないように
Never forget to show your appreciation. I half-heartedly agreed. I knew full well I should be appreciative. You don't. It's literally a visual novel. There's no decisions. At least there wasn't in the first game. It's literally just a story you're going through. It's not like Danganronpa or some other visual novels. Which, by the way, I do have Danganronpa 1 and 2, and a little bit at the beginning of Danganronpa 3 up on my YouTube channel, for anybody that's interested. As well as, again, the first chapter of Higurashi. Yeah, what Naegi said. Which, by the way, there's a reference to Danganronpa right there. How you doing, Makoto? Everybody really is close-knit, aren't they?
昔からの伝統かな
Maybe it's because of tradition.
ひなみ沢って
Hinamizawa has
い
been
ろいろ
in,
と敗訴の危
been
機
in
にあるんです
danger
よ
of
ね
becoming a ghost town on several occasions.
その度に結束して戦
There's
っ
been a
て
history of the villagers
存続を勝
uniting
ち取って
together
き
each
たっ
time
てい
to
う
fight
歴史がある
for
ん
the
ですよ
village's continued existence.
例え
Oh
ば
yeah, that's something I'm very well
ケイ
aware
ちゃん
of.
ひなみ沢ダム計画って知ってま
Oh,
す
here we go. We're going down this rabbit hole again. There's been a history of, yeah, Kei-chan. For example, Kei-chan, did you know about the Hinamizawa Dam project? Hinamizawa Dam project? Hinamizawa Dam project, you say? No, by all means, tell me more. Let's see, I feel like I've heard somebody talk about it before.
10年くらい前にね
About 10 years ago, there was a sudden proposal to build a dam here, which would have submerged Hinamizawa underwater.
そんな話
Oh, that story.
親父かなんかに
I think I heard my dad talk about that.
でもそれって
But I'm
確か
pretty sure that
中止に
plan
なっ
was
た
cancelled, right?
中止にさせたんですよ
We made them cancel it. Yeah, by killing the foreman. Chopping him up and burying the pieces. Yeah. I'm very well aware of that.
みんなで団結して
Everybody banded
だから
together.
これは
So that
戦
was
って
a
勝ち取
well-earned
った勝利
victory.
なんです
That sounds pretty much like the story I heard. The protest intensified to the point where it was featured in newspapers and magazines. As a result, the plan was suspended.
ダムの話そ
The
のもの
whole story with the dam
私が生まれる
apparently
前からあった
started
らしい
before I was born.
最初は候補地調査と
At
か
first,
砂
the
防のための
proposal
小さいダム
was
とか
only
そんな程
for
度の話だったんです
exploratory purposes, or a small dam to control erosion. But then the cat was let out of the bag. If it was completed, it would have been the biggest dam in Japan. Not just Hinamizawa, but several villages upstream would have been submerged as well. The protests immediately began. Petitions to cancel or relocate the project were drafted and submitted to the Diet. They even went so far as to go to the Ministry of Construction in Tokyo to hand over a direct appeal to the minister. Previous landowner sued the government, stating there were inconsistencies in the purchase agreement and the transaction should be nullified. Owners of yet unacquired land split their properties, increasing the number of landowners in order to stifle the project.
土地の買収なんていう
It
お
was
金の
all
問題
very
のうちは可愛かったんです。
precious when the land acquisition, it was still about money.
そのうち土地の
Eventually,
強
they
制
started
所有をちら
relying
つか
on
せるよう
eminent
になりました
domain
ね。
in order to seize
その
land.
頃からです。
It started at that
機動
point.
隊とかの暴力
The
行為
riot
が目立
police
ち始め
began
た
to
の
get
機動
violent.
隊って
Riot
警
police?
察だろ？
You mean the police?
暴力行為なんてす
Why
るの
would
か
they
よ
act violent?
殴りますよ。
They punched,
蹴りますよ。
they kicked.
私も殴られたことありますし。
There was a time I was hit. But didn't you just say that this was before your time? Like before you were born? Or that it started before you were born? So, hold on a second. This was 10 years ago. If we're like in our teens, you were already born then. You were a kid. You were a baby. Right? Anyway. Yeah, but starting 10 years ago, she would have still been around. Because if we're still in our teens, that means at the very least, she was 3. There was a time I was hit.
この辺だったかな。
Right around there, I think.
皮が
Right around
切れちゃ
here,
っ
I
たみたいで
think. My
血が
skin
すごい
split
出ま
open
し
and a
た。
whole lot of blood spilled out. Saying that, Shion indicated her temple by poking at it.
警察とかには
What happened to the police? Filing a complaint against the riot police for police brutality would seem kind of strange for some reason. Naturally, they wouldn't pay heed to something like that. You would be able to establish proof on who exactly hit you, and they could justify their actions by saying that you were interfering with police duties.
うちのバッチャ、烈
My
火
Nana
のご
went
と
off
く
like a
怒り狂い。それ
firework.
からがすごかっ
After
た。
that, it was
も
amazing.
う全面戦争
Like a
ですよ。
full-scale
こ
war.
っちも座り込み
We
で
weren't
訴え
just
るな
going
んて
to sit
生
idly
っちゃないことなんかしませ
sit
ん。
by and idly file complaints.
ガンガン攻めました。
We went on the offensive. First, in order to call attention to the government, they filed a temporary injunction in court. Then, in order to gain public support, they called in prominent scientists to state that Hinamazawa was a valuable nature preserve. They pressured the prefectural and municipal assemblies. Saying that the prefectural government ignored his constituents when he approved the project and demanded his resignation. They completely and thoroughly denounced him. Naturally, in Hinamazawa, as a ferocious conflict worthy of being called the Dam War began. The Dam Wars. That's funny. The Dam War. In order to suppress the police's brutality, they coordinated with the network channels and exposed the violence of the riot squad members to the public. On top of that, they put together a special expose themed around the government repressing the citizens and aired it nationally. It worked wonders. Following that, the SWAT teams had their hands cuffed. Day after day, the petitions and demonstrations continued. Propaganda was used to help garner support. The circle of support gradually expanded outwards from Hinamizawa. Either that bore fruit or the government finally decided against it. It was announced the dam project was indefinitely suspended just a few years ago. No, see? Yeah. It started 10 years ago, and it ended a few years ago. Like, if I remember correctly, it was like 5 years ago that it ended. Right? If I were to go back to the first game? Which would make more sense because in the first game, Mion talked about being one of the protesters and stuff like that. So she wouldn't have been one of the protesters if she was just like 3 years old, so it couldn't have been 10 years ago. She was like 8 or something like that when the when it ended, if I remember correctly, which would be like 5 years ago. If she's 13, but she can't be 13. She has to be older than that, right? Actually, if she's what age do people graduate from the Japanese equivalent of high school or middle school or whatever? Because she's in the top grade for their school or whatever. Okay, so she's 14, so she was like 9 years old then, 8 or 9 years old, 5 years ago. Also, I've noticed that a lot of countries don't actually have high school. Like, for instance, over in Europe, they don't have high school. They go to university after they finish middle school or whatever. Which is secondary school. So, and I think that they might be, that Japan might be the same. Well, no, they do have a high school, but they have to take an entrance exam. They have to take an entrance exam to get into high school or whatever. So it's pretty much like a university. We did everything we could. The entire village banded together and fought. At the time we were desperate, but now that it's over, it's actually become a pretty good memory. The villagers' feelings of solidarity and unity have still haven't faded. Villagers' feelings of solidarity and unity still haven't faded. Shion said that as she focused off into the distance. I felt those eyes weren't filled with anguish, but rather a sense of pride. A kind of solidarity is pretty nice. You don't see it too often. bridging the generation gap and unifying the region.
私もそう思います
I think so too.
ダム計画は試
The
練だ
dam
ったけど
project was a trial. I think that just the fact we were able to overcome it is huge. The fear I was feeling until just now gradually began to fade. When people began to show up one after another while I was engaging with those thugs, I thought it was frightening, but now I felt from the bottom of my heart that I had been rude. The villagers prepared to defend their homeland to the death. The sense of solidarity that fostered. It might seem impudent to say this, but I was a little jealous. If I had been in Hinamizawa when the protest against the dam was going on, I might have been able to share in that sense of solidarity.
ケイちゃんは反対運動
Kei-chan, you weren't here at the time, so I don't
村人
think
たち
you
の連帯
can
感を実感
fully
できない
feel
か
the
もしれないけど
solidarity in the
みんなには
village.
あるの
But everybody shares
し
it
っかりと
thoroughly,
それはたとえ
even with somebody who just moved here like you, Kei-chan. She couldn't have been more right. So many people got together to help me when I just moved here, even though they were strangers whose name I didn't even know. A hot feeling began welling up inside me. When I lived in the city, I didn't even know my own neighbors. I thought that was natural, but here that was an absurd and pathetic thing. Even though I thought of them as strangers, all the other villagers viewed me as a comrade. Happiness and warmth. I was acutely aware of those feelings as they gradually welled up inside of me.
園崎さん店長がホール入ってほしいそうです
Manager wants you to work the floor. A more senior waitress waved her hand and called out to Shion. It seemed like it was time for her. It was time to work.
はい今入ります
Okay, I'm coming.
すみません
Sorry.
もう仕事しないと
Looks like I have to get to work
いいよいいよ
now. It's
付き合って
fine.
くれてありがとな
Thanks for hanging
楽しかった
out with me. It was fun. Oh look, it's nighttime out. How long were we there? It was still daytime out when we got here, and now it's nighttime outside.
帰っちゃいます
Oh, are you going
まあ
home?
な
Yeah.
飯の時間には戻らない
My
と
mom gets fussy if I'm
うるさ
not home by dinner time. Seemed that Shion wanted to say something, but she swallowed her words. Like she hadn't talked enough, that kind of feeling. Looking at that expression, I regretted saying something that I had regretted saying something that had disappointed me unlike that. I was about to say that I could stay for a little bit longer when Shion got up from her
はい
seat.
これ
Here,
このチケットで払えば
if you use this coupon, it should cover the pancakes as well. Saying that, she showed me a coupon booklet as she tore out a few sheets and handed them to me.
便利でしょ
Convenient, isn't it?
お給料の他にもらえる
That's a
ボーナ
perk
ス
I
チケットなん
get
ですよ
I get on top of my salary.
いいよ
It's
ホットケー
okay.
キ代くらい払
I
える
can
よ
pay for the pancakes myself.
おやおや
Hey, hey.
遠慮するなんてケイちゃん
Being
らしく
so
ないです
reserved
よ
doesn't fit you, Kei-chan.
私がお姉だったら喜んで
If I were
もら
my
えるく
sister,
せに
you would have gladly let me pay for it. She said as she laughed, gently stopping me from opening my wallet. Being told with such an encouraging smile really resounded with me.
園崎さんすみません
Sorry, could you
レジ
take care of the
入ってください
register?
はい今すぐ
Right away. Later. Today was fun. Saying that, Shion smiled one more time at
あミオ
one more time at me. Oh,
今日
Mion.
は本当にありがとうな
Thanks a lot for today. I
こ
owe
の
you
恩は
one.
忘れないよ
そう思うならきっと返してくだ
If
さい
you really think that, then return the
楽しみ
favor.
にしてますから
I'm looking forward to it. After I said it, I realized I mistakenly called her Mion. I didn't know if she realized it or not. I was gonna say, is it back to being daytime? What happened? Lazing around and watching television after dinner was part of my daily routine. Might seem like a waste at first glance, but you could say it was an important time when I was able to accrue knowledge of everything from politics to economics to various trivia. It's rude to tip. Just saying. They live in Japan, it's rude to tip. After dinner was valuable time spent while the brain was at its most supplied with nutrients. You idiot. It's obvious that Tokyo Tower is taller. Today I tested my knowledge of trivia by watching my weekly quiz show. Sitting in front of the television, I was able to get a lot of the answers right, but if I were actually up on the stage, I'd probably fail miserably. Phone call from Sonozaki-san. Okay. That's Mion. It was a little late for her to be calling. It was a little... I had a bad feeling about this. I had a hunch it was something to do with club activities. Because in most countries outside of the United States, it's rude to tip your waiter or waitress because it means that you think they're not getting paid properly. And in other countries aside from the US, the servers actually get paid a decent wage. And also, in most European countries, gratuity is actually included in your tab. She was probably going to inform me about what we were doing tomorrow. This was Mion we were talking about. She might even go so far as to say we're doing club activities right now, so hurry up and come over. By the way, it was 8 p.m. Hello? No way we're having a club battle right now. Huh? That's not it. I mean... It was Mion, but it was a very un-Mion-like way of talking. Huh? Could it be? Sorry. Could it be you're not Mion, but Shion? That's right. Good evening. I'm sorry for calling so late. For Mion, this would have been an ill-fittingly polite way to talk. But since it was Shion, it was natural. Even though they were both the same person. With a dry smile, I enjoyed that mysterious feeling. No, it's fine. What's up? Kei-chan, do you like sweets, like cakes or desserts? There's no way I hated that. There's no way I hated them. I'm an unabashed glutton. That's great. Actually, there's a new dessert contest this summer. Looks like they have a new dessert menu every season. So they were hiring taste testers for potential desserts.
エンジェルモードのデザート
The
は
desserts
かな
at
り評
Angel
判いいんで
Morts
すよ
have a good
モニター
reputation.
の募集も
It's
かな
pretty
り倍率
difficult
高いん
to
です
get accepted as a taste
そ
tester.
れで担当職人
I'll
の
get right to the
話
point. Ta-da!
じゃーんと言われても
You say ta-da, but I
見えないからわからないけど。
can't see over the phone. Still, could it be?
そうです
That's
そのモ
right.
ニターチケットがここに
I
あ
have
る
a
って
taste
わけで
testing ticket right
もし
here.
も甘いものが
If
嫌
you
いじゃ
don't
ない
mind
なら
sweets, how about
い
it?
かがですかってつまりなんだよ
When you say how about it, you basically
そのチケッ
mean
トで
with that ticket I can eat all the desserts I want.
そういうわけなのか
They say to beware of honey pots, but this is sweeter than any pot of honey. All you can eat free dessert? No way.
OK ならモニター当選者の末番に名前を書いてお
If
き
you're
ます
okay with that, I'll register you as a taste tester.
明日お店に来たら
When you come to the restaurant tomorrow, just give the person in charge your
そ
name.
れで万事 OK です
Then everything will work out.
万事 OK って
When you say everything will work out, you mean all you can eat?
無料なのか
Free?
ええ無料です
Yeah, it's free.
結構ありますから
There's quite a bit, so I recommend you come hungry. That's such a delectable opportunity, it was almost scary. This was such a delectable opportunity, it was almost scary. This was really Shion, right? It wasn't me on posing as Shion in order to bait me into a trap, was it? What am I saying? They're the same
はい
person.
はい
I'm starting to debate that. But this series so far has subverted expectations and like really kind of made me second guess and double guess and triple guess myself. Try to keep it a little cleaner though, okay, Drakor?
K ちゃんの考えてることは分かってますよ
Know exactly what you're thinking,
こ
K-chan.
んな美味しい話があるわけないって思ってるんでしょ
You're thinking this is too good to be true, right?
ギグいやそんなことは全然
I mean, I would never.
お姉から聞いてます
I heard from my sister, but you're really somebody who can't tell a lie.
私
I'm not averse to somebody like that. Shion laughed with a voice that sounded a lot like how Mion would laugh.
下心ってわけじゃないんで
It's
す
not like I was intending on it,
実は私
but it just so happens that my shift ends early tomorrow.
もしもご迷惑
If
が
it's not a bother, I thought maybe we could spend a little time together after I'm done.
へえ明日の
Your
バイト
shift
は
ends
すぐ
early
終わっちゃうんだ
はいだからケイちゃんがデザ
So
ー
while
ト食べ
you
ながら
take your
飲ん
time
でる
eating
っていう
dessert,
のは
I'll finish
あ
up.
俺も特に
Well,
用事
I
は
didn't
ない
have any
し
plans
多
anyway.
少付き合うくらいなら
I don't mind
まだ
hanging out with you for a bit.
別にどこかに行くわけでもない
It's not like we have to go anywhere.
夕涼みしながら
I was thinking we
お散歩で
could
も
cool
できたら
off
な
in
って
the
思ってる
evening
だ
while
け
we
です
take a walk. There's no reason for me to refuse. Except, oh, I don't know, she's probably gonna stab you. But at the same time, I don't know. Seems a bit early for things to start getting crazy, but we'll see. Based off the track record I have of the one other game I've played so far, it still seems a bit early for things to go sideways. Or wait. We're in chapter we're in part 3 now, right? Or are we in part 4? I think we're in part 3, so I might be wrong, actually. Things might start going sideways. Either before this stream ends, which I'm not sure, or when that's gonna be yet, or but in the next stream. Some shit's gonna go down soon. I just know it. There's no reason for me to refuse. Out of curiosity, I might as well take her up on her
そう
offer.
いえば
Oh, K-chan, you and I have been meeting up every day, haven't we?
言われてみればそうだ
Now
な
you say it, I guess we have.
でも OK してもらえたおかげ
Since
で
you said okay, we
ま
have
た
an
明
excuse
日
to
も会
meet
え
again
る口実を
tomorrow.
作ることもできました
Huh? What was Mion saying?
ケイちゃん、なん
Your
だか
voice
声が
just
裏返って
cracked.
ますどうしたんでしょうね
What's the matter? It wasn't a video phone, but I could tell. But she could tell I was beet red.
じゃあ明日
Well then, you should definitely come
それ
tomorrow.
じゃあこれで失礼します
I'll take my leave here. Good night.
ま
Good,
おやすみ
good night. Shion finished with what she had called to say, ended the conversation without any chit-chat. When I returned to the living room after hanging up the phone, the TV was already off and Mom was sleeping in the rocking chair. Not feeling like turning the TV back on, I went back upstairs and returned to my room.
俺シオンに世話になってばかりだよな
I've only been receiving favors from Shion, haven't I? She brought me a bento and saved me when I got involved with those thugs. She was supposed to be a different person, so I could thank Mion at school. Come to think of it, she'd probably just say she'll pass it on to her sister. I have to thank Shion directly. Tomorrow I'll have to repay her somehow. Alright. New tips unlocked. The Delinquent 3. An achievement unlocked, Mob Mentality. And we're going to be cutting it here for tonight. This was what I was waiting for to end it at. So, yeah. Don't forget to give me a follow for those of you watching me on Twitch so you know when I go live next. Also, down below is where you'll find links to both my Discord and my Patreon. That goes also for people watching on YouTube. Yeah, so thanks for watching, everybody. For those of you on YouTube, please feel free to, if you enjoyed it, please feel free to leave a like. Don't forget to subscribe for more content in the future. Until next time, everybody, have a good one. I'll see you later. Bye.